Hey, I'm Makaila.
And I'm Nick.
And this is a completely legitimate movie podcast.
Hello, everybody. We are here live and on well, not live because it's not going to be live when you watch it. This is great. We are on video. We're live currently. It won't be live when you see it. Bringing you another episode of a completely legitimate movie podcast.
Yay!
Hey, Makaila, what are we reviewing today?
We are reviewing, I almost said Grammy Award winning. God, it was bad enough it won an Oscar. Oscar Award winning movie.
Okay.
Anora.
This movie really has given us another trend of Oscar-winning movies being awful. So, do you want to launch into the summary, or should I?
You can do it. I can do it. We can just do it however we do it.
Okay. Well, this movie is about a stripper from Brooklyn, New York, who meets and marries the son of a powerful and rich Russian. His parents are pissed when they find out. Chaos ensues as they work to get the marriage annulled.
Yeah. So this came out last year, November 8th. It's directed by Sean Baker. This is just short and sweet. I didn't even look up what else Sean Baker has directed. I think after watching this, I kind of didn't care. But it stars Mikey Madison as Anora, and I'm gonna get into that when I start talking about the movie, but her name is Annie. Anora's like her legal birth name, and for whatever
That's
reason,
not what she likes to be called.
Yeah, like that's the name of the movie, probably just because like Annie the orphan, was already taken. But her previous works include Judith Weinstein in the miniseries Lady in the Lake. She also played Amber Freeman in the 2022 Scream movie and Sadie in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then there's also, sorry if I butcher these names, Paul Wiseman as Nick, Yura Borisov as Igor, and a whole host of other supporting characters. I did not recognize any of their names. A lot of them are Russian, so I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it. There's just a lot of names. Yeah.
All right. It was nominated for and won multiple awards, including the Oscar for Best Motion Picture of the Year. Somehow, Best Achievement in Directing, Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role for Mikey Madison, and Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role for Yura Borisov, and Best Original Screenplay.
Yep. All right. Let's get into
it. Let's dive in. I just opened your notes. You read it. You read your first word. You read how this movie starts.
The first word I wrote, titties. And then we're watching this and realizing as we're seeing like all of these titties, we're just like, wait, what's this movie about?
Yeah,
we kind of looked at each other
blind.
like, what are we watching?
One of the rare occasions we both go into a movie blind, and it's like, oh, we can't watch this when the kids are awake.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't out in the living room, thankfully. Like, it was rated R. We weren't like, gather around, children.
Yeah, the hard open to neon, a strip club, a butthole right in the camera, and it's when I noted, okay, well, this movie's about a sex worker. And we meet our protagonist, I'm not going to say hero, Annie, soliciting tables, basically working the crowd, seeing if she can sucker someone into buying a private dance.
Well, they're there at a strip club. I would assume that they know.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
No one's like, what? We have exotic dancers here?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of get a little opening montage of her with different dudes giving private dances. We got some guy who sounds like Michael Scott asking about if she has a family, which is like, why?
What else are you supposed to do? I mean, yeah, you just make small talk, I guess, because like it's like, what do I do with myself?
I've never been in that situation.
I mean, me either. So I'm just like, I think, a little small talk, maybe. I don't know.
I suppose so. We kind of just get an opening 10, 15 minutes of what her life is like as a stripper. There's another one who's kind of pissy about Annie poaching a customer. We see Annie and a friend. She calls herself Annie, but Anora. Annie and Nora will probably use interchangeably.
I
Her
won't.
we'll also call her this shithead, but anyway,
Eh.
Annie and another stripper are on a smoke break, just kind of talking shit. And the plot kind of kicks off when the owner, who I guess his name was Jimmy, needs Annie to work a table because she speaks Russian.
Yeah, they specifically asked for someone who speaks Russian.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we meet Ivan, who is here on vacation, I guess. It's very hush hush sounding.
They kind of talk in Russian. She at first is reluctant to use Russian, but she says she understands it. She eventually slips into it to make him more comfortable. Takes Ivan to a private room to play Scrabble. And Ivan asks if she works outside of the club. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. She takes his phone, puts her number in, says, hey, yeah, reach out to me. We'll work something out. And then she's on a train going home.
Yeah. She's always like hitting the vape pen like this movie is sponsored by Juul. Just like
She does. She vapes a lot.
yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, we gotta we you vaping. So yeah, she's at her apartment. Is this her sister, I think,
I think
right?
they
Yeah.
said it was her
So
sister.
her sister's like, "Did you pick up milk?" And I felt so fucking seen because Annie's just like, "Do you see milk in the fucking fridge?" No. Then I didn't pick up the fucking milk. And it's like, yeah, just like,
And she's trying to sleep. Her sister
yeah,
just bursts into her
did you get
bedroom.
milk? Like, damn, check the fridge. I've been working all night. You have eyes. Why didn't you get the milk?
Maybe there was a milk agreement where unawares of. She wakes up later, gets a text from what we assume is Ivan. It's pronounced both ways, I think, in the movie. So she gets dolled up for more sex work and goes to Ivan's swanky mansion
Mhm.
with security. She is greeted like at a gate and has to
Yeah,
be
there's
like,
a
"Oh,
guard.
he's expecting me." And maybe the high point of the movie for me, which sucks because we're about 10 minutes in and it's all downhill from here, is that Ivan greets her, rolls to the door in Heelys.
Yeah, no, I thought it was Heelys too, but then it was like he rolled away. I say like rolled away. He's just wearing socks.
It wasn't
That's why I said like,
Heelys,
yeah, no, like he's so fucking smooth. He's just like gliding around the house like this is a like ice arena. He just got moves.
but there is no high point of this movie then. Damn. I
Yeah.
gotta knock like a star or half a
No,
star off that.
someone's gonna correct me and someone. All two of our listeners are gonna correct me if they see that. And, please, you
Mom, go
dumbass.
watch this and see if you wore Heelys. Anyway, he says, "Welcome to my humble abode." He gets the English,
Yeah, yeah,
but doesn't matter because she's blown away by like this crazy rich house. Um, Smash cut to coitus ensuing, and then they're hitting a bong together.
yeah. And she's like obviously trying to guess what he does because this house is fucking huge.
Right.
So she, are your parents drug dealers, gun dealers? No, no, no. So Ivan name drops his dad and is just like, Google him, which is like such a fucking power move. Just like, I'm not gonna tell you what he does. Just Google him.
We aren't given that information
No, and
either.
they're like, fuck the audience. It's not important.
And
Just we are just supposed to know that he's powerful.
yeah, she Googles him and is very clearly impressed, and we are just left to fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
She's kind of gossiping about this later to a coworker and that other pissy stripper who was like, "You poached my customer." She calls her a ginger cunt, which is about the high point of that scene. Moving on.
Yeah, like, okay, and there's this song, that she's dancing to. I used my phone to listen in, because I was like, "What the fuck is this song?" Apparently, it's "Drip" by Brooke Candy, in case anyone cares, and I'm I feel like to find songs for this movie, they literally just Googled songs about pussy dripping because that's all these lyrics talk about. And I'm just like, they just wanted to find the most, this is a movie about a sex worker that they could find.
Well, I wrote down one line that I heard, which is "Call the police. This pussy's illegal." Which part of reviewing this movie makes me feel like we're just these millennials, like, Gen Z suck because it's like we don't like Annie or Ivan. We don't like the music they use. Like, are we just old? Are we just old fogies now?
No, I mean, like, I think no. I think that this movie tried very hard to be relevant to people who are not in our generation.
Mm.
I think that not to say, like, they did a terrible job at it, it's just I think they kind of like, "This is not a movie for you, and so we're going to, like, leave you out of the equation." Which is kind of what surprised me about why it won an Oscar is because it's like, you see that article and it's like, "Oh, they actually have to watch the movies now," and it's like, "Well, they clearly didn't fucking watch this one."
Yeah, I can't imagine a bunch of old people enjoying this movie.
Right.
The purpose of this terrible song, I think it's terrible. The purpose of this terrible
I kinda
song.
liked it, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, yeah, all right, fair. Oh, then I'm the old fogey. Penny is back with Ivan, and he's paid her to do a strip show for him. Coitus again, bong hits again. At which point we kind of get like maybe one of the only really funny parts of this movie where she looks at him is like, you paid for an hour and we have 45 minutes left. It's like, quick draw over here. So she's like, "Do you want to go again?" He's like, "Oh yeah." Um, so they go again. There's a lot of fucking in this movie, but
There
like
is.
awkward fucking because she's a sex.
I really get an awkward vibe.
Well, it's more to the point that like he's not. She later directs him, which is like they
But yeah,
fuck
no,
for a
he
long
doesn't know what
time.
the fuck he's doing.
Well, he's selfish. I
Yeah.
was the vibe I got, but you're probably right. But I just don't know what because later, once they're once she's not being paid, she tries to give him direction. But we go to the party. It's New Year's Eve. There's a countdown. There's fireworks. There's other guys who kind of point out, like, "Oh, that's the escort Ivan's fucking."
Yeah, everybody knows.
Everyone knows. There's cocaine. Annie says something to somebody about having holiday rates.
Yeah, and, like okay, so we were getting major Pretty Woman vibes from this, we both said that, but I think,
Right.
like, the thing that I noted was, like, "Okay, good, we understand inflation." She's actually charging, like, what I think would be a reasonable rate. Like, "Oh, $300." That like, what the fuck? That that is not a good rate. She's like, "No, if I'm gonna be your girlfriend for a week, you best be paying me like a girlfriend for a week rate." So he's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll give you 15,000."
Yeah, cash up front. I noted here was like Pretty Woman, but awful. So far, I'm not having a good time.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh yeah, she takes the deal, and it's very like you said, Pretty Woman esque. He wants her. He calls be my horny girlfriend for a week, which is
Yeah.
like
Eh.
this guy's such a douche. But he has money, so it's fine.
Yeah, and I think he's supposed to be, like, I don't think we're necessarily supposed to like him.
No,
We're supposed to be like,
no
"What a
one,
brat."
no one's been likable
No.
yet.
I don't know, Andy has kind of been likable, like, when okay, so he's like, "Well, you're gonna be my girlfriend for a week, I'll pay you." So, obviously she's going to be at his beck and call, she can't work, so now she's gotta go talk to her boss.
Right.
He's like, "Oh my god, you're gonna be gone for a week, I just gave you New Year's. I just gave you this 1 day off a year. Like, can you not be grateful?" And she's like, "Once you give me health insurance, workers' comp, and a fucking 401k, then you can tell me when I work and not work." Like, those are the moments of
Yeah.
like, I like those moments of Annie's character. There's some moments where I'm like, "Wha you're a fucking dumbass." Or like, "Oh my god, you're whining, please shut up."
Okay. Annie has likable moments.
Yeah, I think she has redeeming qualities.
I'm really glad we're on video so people can see the face I just made. A few. She has a few. A couple. But yeah, she quits and then she's back with Ivan and we get kind of just a montage of their week.
Yeah,
She's packing up and tells her roommate sister she'll be back in a week.
yeah. And she'll have to buy your own milk.
That's so much milk for a week. But immediately, her and Ivan are boning. Then Ivan's got friends over, like, "This is my new girlfriend." It's a terrible accent.
I don't know, let's just not do accent.
No accents. Yeah, she's with Ivan. They're boning again. He's got friends over later, telling him all about his new girlfriend. Then they're at a club. Then they're in the shower having sex. Then he's gaming some more. He has a cryo chamber.
Yep. It's like a fucking
Why?
yeah, he's got money. Like, why not? But it's not his cryo chamber, it's his dad's cryo
His
chamber.
dad, yeah, fucking daddy's money and daddy's cryo chamber. rich assholes.
Yeah, it's just like rich people doing rich people young shit. What? Rich young people doing rich young people shit. I don't
Yeah.
know what I was saying there, but yeah, they decided to go to Vegas because why the fuck not, I guess.
Yeah, well, because he can do that.
Yeah.
Before they go to Vegas, though, I made a note here that they go to two of his friends' work where they work at a bulk candy store.
Yes.
And I made the note that his friends are like John Ralphio and his sister from
Oh my
Parks and
god,
Rec.
yeah. Yeah.
They like trash the store and eat a bunch of candy because the guy who owns it is just really old.
And he comes out and he's just like I don't think he doesn't care.
No, it looks like he's 1 foot in the grave. Why would he?
But yeah, so they get to Vegas and he tells Annie that he has to go back to Russia to work for his dad, but is under the impression that if he marries an American, he will be American and won't have to go back to Russia. Like that somehow exempts him. So I'm like, oh my god, are they about to get married?
Yeah.
They're getting married, aren't they? And then yeah, they're fucking getting married because I guess that's what you do in Vegas.
At this point, it's kind of unclear whether she actually likes him and is falling for him. She's
Yeah.
having a good time with him.
Yeah.
Like this is a blast for her. She's just partying on this rich dude's dime for a week. We get the impression she might like him, but like this is her fucking meal ticket. Why wouldn't she do this? Like
Yeah.
this for her, there's probably not a downside except there is.
Right, right.
So then they celebrate, the way you would expect them to. And I think this is the point where like as they're doing it, she's like, "Hey, speed racer, slow down and this might be better."
Yeah, and then after they get married, he just goes to this very public spot and it's just like, "I'm an American bitch," and like, "Yeehaw!" He doesn't say yeehaw, but he might as well have. Like, they're 2 seconds away from chanting USA.
Yeah, they are. Oh my god. He's yelling at everyone, "This is my wife. This is my wife." And at one point he says it, he does sound like Borat, and
He
I think that was on
does!
purpose.
My wife!
I'm pretty sure that was on purpose.
Yeah.
Anyway, we go back home and we thought Annie got fired, but she's back at the strip club, quitting officially, hugging
Yeah,
all
why she need to do that? She's like now she's got this huge, I don't know, like, cash money basically, like
right, she cashed in.
yeah.
She's hugging all her stripper friends who seem jealous and supportive at the same time. The lesbian bouncer is very sad to see her go, nor wants to hit Disney World for the honeymoon.
Of course she does. I feel like how many people go to Disney World as their honeymoon? I see way too fucking many. Like, I know one of my dad's wives, that's where they went. I don't know, maybe another wife he went there with too. I don't think so, it's not ringing a bell. But I know, like, every time I'm on Facebook, it's like, "We're at Disney World." It's like,
To be fair, we just did it backwards and we got engaged at Universal and
not
then went on a
Disney World.
cruise for the honeymoon.
I just but that's my thing though, right? Like, it's Disney World, and I've never been, so maybe I'm just being ignorant, but it's like, of all the places to go on your honeymoon? Disney World? Like, that's what we're doing? I don't know, like, it just
Okay, yeah, it's not the most romantic place. You got screaming children and everything smells
really,
like
I just
fried dough.
it's gonna be so expensive, it's just like, I don't know, there's, like you could go hiking, you could go on a cruise,
You go to
you could
Paris.
go yeah, like, there's so many other places you could go for that amount of money, it's like this is your honeymoon, this is supposed to be, like, a once in a lifetime, like, "Oh, we're gonna take this big old trip," it's like Disney World? I don't know. I'm not judging, but I'm judging.
You had a lot of feelings about Disney World.
And he's how rich, and they go to Disney World. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Whatever. She wants a fairy tale. She wants to feel like a princess. I'm sure that's the meaning behind it, and I'm just being cynical.
Yeah, that's fair. We kind of get a little bit of a newlywed montage, Chinese food, shopping, more sex, obviously.
It, like, switches between being sweet and then, like, they're fucking.
Yeah, they're what did they say their ages were? He's 21 and she's 25. So
I could not
they're
tell you. I didn't write it down.
I think I think that's about it. They're in their they're early 20s. They're just boning all the time. It's fine.
Yeah. No, like, what would a newlywed montage be without that?
Yeah,
Truly.
it's valid. We cut to an old Russian man on the phone talking about rumors, and you're kinda led to believe maybe this is Ivan's dad. It's not. But this guy's wearing, like, priest robes, Russian priest,
Yeah.
and you kinda get the feeling, "Oh, okay, think now we're about 50 minutes into the movie, you're like, "Oh, here's the conflict."
Yep.
Finally, back at home, they're cuddling while Ivan plays video games, and like, this was if never mind, because I don't
Get
wanna
it
spoil the
out.
no, because it's just like, he does not seem like a very good
It seems like she's like they're just relaxing. Like, we
yeah,
watch
alright.
TV on the couch. Like,
Fair
granted,
enough.
we have jobs, so eventually we have to get off of the couch. He doesn't have anything to fucking do.
It
Like,
just
what's
feels
he
like he
doing?
nuts in her and then gets on the PlayStation, and that's their day,
Yeah,
unless
that's
they have to
probably
leave.
like most 22-year-olds right now. That's why they shouldn't be getting married.
Alright, fair enough. His phone is ringing.
Phone, phone is ringing. I can't. Not when you say it like that.
That's why I looked at you. I knew you were gonna do it.
Yeah, you knew it was coming.
I knew. And Nora is annoyed because the phone's been ringing and ringing and ringing, and he's been ignoring it.
Yeah. Like, looking at it and ignoring it. It's not just like your phone's going off and you're like, "Oh, whatever, I'll look at it later." Like, he sees who's calling and he's like, "Nope,
Yeah, she asks him, "Well, what did your parents say when you told them we got married?" Didn't tell him.
nope."
Did not
Failed to
tell him.
come up.
She's like, "Well, parents usually want their kids to get married," but it's like she's she has to have some level of self-awareness that
No,
like
she's
if
25.
I don't care. She has to have some level of self-awareness that most people, if they went to their parents, it's like, "Mom, Dad, I'm marrying a stripper." They'd have questions at minimum.
You don't have to say that. You can just say, "Mom, Dad, I got married." Why did they have
It's
to know
gonna
that
come
she's
up.
a str why would
It's
that
gonna
come
come.
up? It only comes up if you bring it up.
What does your wife do for a living?
She's a dancer. You don't gotta say where she dances.
What
You can
kind
just
of dancer? Is
dances
she
on a
a ballet
stage.
dan
Dances on a sta That could be Broadway. She could dance at the fucking Moulin Rouge. They
You're
don't know.
you're
Well,
really
actually, she
op
dancing at the Moulin.
I feel like you're really optimistic. If I'm sorry, if one of our kids came home like, "Oh, I married a dancer," there's follow-up questions.
Not from me, okay? If they're like, "Oh, I married a potato farmer," then I'm gonna be like, "Interesting. What do they do as a potato farmer? They just farm potatoes?" Like,
It's
if
so
I said dancer,
self-explanatory. Why does that have follow-up questions?
I don't know, 'cause how many potato farmers do you meet?
Well done, we
Whatever,
don't live in Idaho.
we're getting off topic.
We're gonna cut so much of this out. Anyway, Ivan asked about Anora's parents, and Anora does not have a great family life. Sounds like she only has her mom in Miami, and I guess mom didn't care. Russian goons are coming to get Ivan,
Yeah.
and we see them in the car. They're laughing at the situation, like, "Oh, I'm not doing accents." Like they're laughing that he married a prostitute. They get to the mansion, park right in front of the door, like all sloppy. They pound on the door. They're interrupting couch coitus. Ivan doesn't want to let them in. He refers to them as his father's monkeys, and he's just going to ignore them. Guess what? They know the code to the door because, of course, they do.
Right.
It's not Ivan's house.
Right, like, these men are hired by your father, like, surprise, surprise, you're not in charge. So, yeah, they're basically there to find out if he actually got married, because at this point, it's kind of hearsay, and they're like, "No, we just saw you a fucking week ago, you didn't get married, what do you mean you got married?" So, yeah, he got married. So, they have to check in now with, the main goon, I guess, Toros.
Russian priest guy,
Yeah,
Taurus.
yeah, Toros. He's at a christening, he checks his phone, he's, like, cussing now, he's like, "I gotta go, I gotta go." So, he's big mad.
Oh, yeah, Toros is on the phone. They send Toros a picture of the marriage license.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, Annie's acting like too big for her britches,
yeah.
like, "I'm Ivan's wife.
"Who
This is
are
my
you?"
house now too. Yo, you work for Ivan's dad. That means you work for Ivan." Like, she's
Yeah, she doesn't
just
understand the way of the world because,
so
again, 25. Her like, listen, this is why they say, like, your brain's not fully matured and developed until you're 25, right? So, like, really, what does she know about the world? I'm sure a lot, but, like, she's young, she just got married, she really what does she know? She's just like, "No, Ivan's rich. Ivan lives in this house, therefore it's Ivan's house. Like, she only knows what she knows.
Yeah. Well, Toros is on the phone with Ivan and is like, "No, no, no, we're gonna get this fixed. This you just got married. We are gonna go and get this annulled." Uh, Nora's losing her shit. Ivan's like, "No, you need to leave. You guys need to leave." Um, wha- the two goons. One of them is named Igor. He's very clearly like I think he was just
It was I think
hired for the day.
yeah, like, I think he's like a substitute goon. Like, I think there was, like, some other guy who was, like, busy, and they're like, "We need you."
He's
Or he's
almost like the audience surrogate because he keeps
yes.
asking the other goon like, "Well, what are we doing? What's going on?" Like, I feel
Yeah.
like this was the Craigslist goon. Like they needed a muscle. Annie asks him what's going on. He's like, "I don't know."
Yeah. Just like, "We're here."
He's like, "It's gonna be okay."
Yeah.
It's not gonna be okay. Spoilers.
No, they use that F word that I hate, that slur.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't understand, like, I am sorry. It is 2025. There are other words. I understand that these are not supposed to be, like, upstanding citizens.
Right.
We can portray that without them using that word. They're not a part of that community. They don't get to use that word.
Well, this was the point of the movie where both Ivan and Annie use the slur.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh, okay, we've been watching the villains." So Igor and Toros and this other Russian goon, I don't think I got his name. Garnick. No, I didn't
Yeah,
think so.
Garnick,
Garnick.
because I remember it kept reminding me of and I was like, "And Steven!" Like, I know it's Garnet, but still.
Well, it's like, oh, we're supposed to be rooting for these Russian goons
You
who
did
aren't using the
too! You were
slurs.
like, "So Tauros is the hero,"
Toros
and
is
I'm
the
like,
hero of the movie.
He's not the hero."
I don't know. He's more sympathetic than Ivan, I think.
Oh, no.
But Toros is yelling over speakerphone
Yes.
to
To
Garnick, like
yeah.
Garnick has on speakerphone, like, "Ivan, I am coming to get you. Your mom and dad are coming. They're pissed at you. We're getting this marriage annulled." Ivan's like, "We gotta fucking leave."
Yeah, he's like, "Get your pants on, we gots to
No, he doesn't
go."
even want he runs out in
Yeah,
his
no, that's
boxers and
right, he's in
shorts.
his
Annie says, "I need to get dressed." So
yeah,
he ditches her. He
literally.
ditches his wife and runs down the street half
Yeah.
naked. And she's an idiot about it. She's like, "He's coming back for me. He's getting help."
He's going like, "No, ma'am." He just fled fled, not fleed, well, fled the house. He ain't coming back,
He's
at least not willingly. Yeah.
he's the dad who went to get milk, never comes back.
Oh, yeah, Igor,
Basically,
he tries to do the job of like, "Okay, well, we have to get this marriage annulled, so we need to get Annie to come with us to go get him, like,
right,
to go get Ivan."
Toros is giving them clear
Yeah.
instructions, "Don't let her leave."
Yeah.
Annie
So
wants to leave.
yeah. He's like, "Alright." So he, like, goes to grab her, she just starts smacking the shit out of him, and he gets, like, very aggressive. He, like, takes his job way too seriously. It's not okay.
It's not.
It's not,
You can tell he's trying not to hurt her.
at first.
No, Garnick is the one who doesn't care, I thought. I thought Igor was very much like,
Doesn't Igor tie her hands behind her back with a telephone cord? I
well, yes,
think
because she bit him. He doesn't wanna hurt. Well, yeah. He they
she
restrain
fucking
her.
bit him. He's not like, "Oh, you sweet
Which
little
is
angel
fine,
baby."
which is fine because she is getting restrained against her
Yes.
will, like, she's for all intents and purposes, she thinks she's about to get kidnapped or raped or
Yeah.
something, and Igor's having a very bad day. He
Yeah.
is trying to restrain her, he's trying to do his best not to hurt her, I think.
Yeah.
He does eventually tie her hands up with the phone line. He
Yeah.
tells
Garnick
Garnick to tie
comes
her
back
feet.
from the
Garnick
kitchen,
gets
yeah.
fucking kicked in the head and falls backwards through a table and spends the rest of the movie with a concussion.
Yeah.
Like, he
Yeah.
throws up at one point from this
Yeah,
concussion.
he very much has a concussion, and that actor plays concussed very well, I should say,
Oh,
like,
yes.
very well. I'm like, "Oh my god." At one point, I'm thinking to myself, "Did they give this actor a concussion, like a medically supervised concussion?" Because it was just very real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, his
Lots
nose is
happen.
broken. There's, like, this chaotic scene, like, Tauros and Garnick are arguing, Annie's yelling in the background. It's unhinged. I genuinely loved this scene just because they're treating her like she's a woman. "Oh, how bad can it be? She's just a small little girl."
They break so much furniture.
Have so much furniture. Like, she is not going down without a fight. Yeah.
Yeah. And Ivan has her restrained, and at one point, Garnick's like, "Why the fuck did you tie up her hands?" And he's like, "'Cause she's going to run, and
Yeah.
she bit me."
Yeah.
So Garnick's like, "Let her go." And so Igor lets go, and she immediately tries to run, and Garnick's like, "Well, stop her." It's like, I'm
It's
not saying
so
Igor was right, but he was competent. He he did his job, and his
as a
job might have been
goon,
immoral,
yeah.
but he was a goon, and he gooned well,
He gooned well.
that gooning has a different context, never mind. He did not goon.
Oh
Anyway,
my god.
Tauros gets there.
Yeah, Tauros shows up.
Tauros finally arrives and is like, "Why did you guys trash the house?" And they're just like, "'Cause this bitch is crazy." And Tauros, who didn't watch it, this is like, she is small girl. How did she do this?" And Igor is like trying to show him his bite mark, and Tauros doesn't care.
Yeah, no. So they realize that this is not working. So they try to reason with Annie, and it's like they hit her point blank with this. Ivan doesn't have anything. Everything belongs to his parents. So whatever you think you have, you don't have. He everything he has is his parents. He doesn't actually own anything. None of the money is his. The house is not his. He is a child.
Right. Yeah,
He
he's John Ralphio, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's this serious scene. It has a comedic element to it because of like all the fighting and everything. So they basically are just they're trying to manipulate her now because they're realizing, okay, tying her up and hitting her has not worked.
I
Surprise.
don't think anyone hit her. Who
Oh
hit her? Was it Garnick?
my gosh. Watch that scene again.
I don't want to watch any part of this movie again. It was awful.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking that they like fucking punched her in the face or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's not what I meant.
Okay.
Okay, but
But
anyway.
yeah, Toro, we learn a little bit about Toros. He's essentially been cleaning up Ivan's messes since he was 6.
Yeah.
So this is nothing new. And they essentially just tell Annie, we're going to get this annulled. We need to find Ivan so that we can do that.
Yeah.
And we will give you 10,000.
Yeah, like
That's
they think she's in it for the money, and it's like this is the part where you realize, no, she's actually not in this for the money. She genuinely does care about Ivan.
she
So,
thinks he's coming back for her.
yeah, like
She thinks that like they're gonna have this romance
yeah,
and
like
tells parents to fuck off.
she loves him. She genuinely cares about him. So she says she wants to talk to him before she agrees to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they untie her. Everyone makes a loose truce. They all get into one of Ivan's dad's cars. They untie Annie. They keep trying to call Ivan. Of course, his phone's going right to voicemail. He's shut it off. And they go on just this wild goose chase.
Yes.
They go to the candy store where Ivan's friends work. They try to have those friends call Ivan. Of course, it doesn't work either.
Well, because they age themselves terribly. Like, you're talking to a bunch of Gen Zers. It reminded me of, like, when we say something to, like, Alistair, and he's like, imagine being old, because they're like, get him on the line, get him on the line. It's like, nobody
And
says
well,
that. So
and
they
they're
just laugh
such
at
little
him.
assholes too.
Like, they
But what's
just
great
laugh at him.
is that Tom, one of Ivan's friends, tries to act tough with a baseball bat, and Igor immediately just snatches it from him and wrecks the store. And it was just very much the old man in me be like, yeah, show those stupid Gen Z kids.
You are such an old
I
man.
am
I'm old fogey alert. No, I'm just
old
kidding.
fogey alert. But it's not, I don't hate Gen Z. I just hate every character in this movie because they suck. They're just such jerks.
Yeah. So they like start looking for Ivan. They go to this like restaurant or whatever, which
Mhm.
I guess that scene was improv. They were literally at a random place and just started
Going through
asking
the kitchen?
people, like no, they start asking people, "Have you seen Ivan?" I guess that was improv. That's the alleged claim.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, "Oh, that's kind of funny," because imagine you're just eating your dinner and, like, fucking people roll in and they're like, "Have you seen Ivan?" And you're just like,
Have you seen this boy?
"Yeah, like, who are you?"
Right.
So I thought
It's
that was kinda neat.
yeah, it's gone from afternoon to evening to nighttime. They're still looking for Ivan.
All the times of days.
The normal progression of time, I suppose. Annie's cold. Igor offers her his scarf. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get cold.
The scarf that he
She
used originally to
her,
yeah, gag
yeah.
her.
He brought it with him. She, of course, wants nothing to do with this guy. She hates all three of these people still. She's just trying to
Yeah.
cooperate and find her husband.
They're
And
arguing. I thought that this was gonna turn into, like, an Igor and Annie love story. So I thought that's where this was going. They were just gonna be like, "Stop it. Leave me alone. I don't wanna be near you," and then they slowly fall in love while they're trying to find Ivan.
yeah.
That's what I thought that's where I thought this was going.
Well, throughout all of the looking, Igor is about the only person who is trying to be kind to her and treat
Yeah.
her like a person. Whereas Toros and Garnick Garnick is a concussed mess and is throwing up and not doing
He's
Toros
not doing anything other
Tor
than puking and
yeah,
looking out the window vaguely.
yeah. Toros is treating Annie as a nuisance. Igor is treating her like a person and trying to be kind. I think at one point he apologized for having to tie her up.
Yeah.
But they try an arcade, a billiards hall, a bar, a restaurant. Garnick throws up, and oh boy, that man needs medical attention, like we said. They start hitting bars because fuck Garnick, he's not the person who needs to get his marriage annulled. Uh, finally, finally, they start getting a trail once they start hitting bars. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, Ivan was just here.
Yeah, you just missed him.
Yeah, seriously. And no one thought of this, including Annie, who it's like, yeah, you know your husband so fucking much, you dumbass. He goes back to the strip club she used to work at
Yeah.
and is getting a dance from that mean stripper.
Yeah, Diamond, and as soon as they were like, "Oh, he's getting a dance from Diamond," I was like, "Annie is gonna throw hands." And there was a conversation using that F word again, and I'm like, "Could have been a better movie without it. I swear it could have been." And Annie throws hands.
She does.
Called it.
They get into a strip club fight, hootenanny,
"Oh,
a
Nanny."
hootenanny of sorts. And the owners called in, but we never see him actually interact with a fight because Toros has managed to drag everyone out
Yeah.
and throw them all in the car. Ivan is blitzed out of his mind. He is on so many substances. He cannot put a sentence together. And Annie's trying to talk to him. And it's
He's
like,
trying to have this really serious
she is.
conversation
And Taurus is
with
like, dare
him.
you talk to him? And it's like, come on.
Clearly, this man is not well. They roll up to the courthouse. He's still drunk.
Yeah. Well, they roll up to the courthouse while it's still dark. And essentially,
Yeah.
we're going to take a nap in the car.
Yeah. And that doesn't really go well because next morning he's still drunk
Yep.
or whatever. Yeah. And like they meet the lawyer there and he's like, all right. He looks at the marriage license and he's like, wait, they got married in Nevada? We can't do this in New York.
Right. They have to go to Nevada.
And Toros is like, he doesn't say it, but I mean, you might as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, now they got to go meet up with Ivan's parents because they have landed their plan.
Yep. Ivan arouses from his stupor,
Yeah.
kind of, as they get to this like private airport and she's trying to talk to Ivan. He's just ignoring her.
Yeah.
He wants nothing to do with her. Mom and dad arrive. And
Mom
they're,
clearly runs the show.
yes. And mom is just like stone cold bitch.
Mhm.
Anora, this two-faced bitch. This two-faced. I know she has a few redeeming qualities. I don't like her. She of course tries to put on this sweet like, so like I'm pleased to meet you. I'm so happy to be part of your family. And mom's just like, Ivan is not your husband and you are not part of this family. And
Yeah.
that is their conversation.
And you're like, "Oh, yeah, this two-faced bitch." What else is she supposed to say to her mother-in-law? Like, okay, I love your mom, but even if I didn't, like, she makes it very easy to get along with her. If I didn't like her, I am not gonna be like, "What's up, bitch?" That is still your mother.
You're right. She's trying to make a good first
Yeah,
impression,
this
but
is the
it's
first time
just
she's ever met her. She's trying to be like, "Please don't take Ivan back to Russia," because she thinks that's the problem.
right.
So, yeah. Ivan's a fucking
Ivan's a brat. He's immediately kowtowing to his parents. He's ignoring his wife. He's going along with everything mom and dad are saying because he's a wimp.
yeah.
And finally, he looks at Anora as she's like pleading, like, "Come on, can we talk about this?" He's like, "Of course this is getting annulled. Are you stupid?"
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, that's I think that, like, that's part of the attitude that Annie was getting from mom, is she's used to cleaning up her son's messes, and she's fucking sick of it. So she doesn't look at Annie as, like, the wife of her son, she looks at her as another mess she has to clean up. Great, we gotta throw money at this now because fucking Ivan. I think, like, that's part of the problem, and yeah, Ivan's just like, why would you think we were gonna stay married? I was just bored."
Yeah, it's like Ivan's life is the Power Rangers, and Annie's
Exactly, no different.
Annie's just the monster of the week.
Yeah.
She's the monster of the week. It's not gonna matter next week when you watch the next episode of Mighty Morphin Ivan, because he'll be fighting a different monster that Rita Repulsa sent to
Yeah,
him. The
but
metaphor works.
I don't know, I don't wanna compare Ivan to the Power Rangers. Can we just make him like
Any other cartoon or show that has a monster of the week.
yeah, yeah, just not the Power Rangers, leave them out of it.
They
So,
didn't do
yeah,
anything wrong.
Ivan is talking to his mom, and he calls Annie an escort. Annie shouts that he's pathetic. Igor pours Annie a drink. This is all happening on the
On the
airplane.
plane.
And I'm thinking again, like, this is either the start of a slow burn romance or it's a beautiful friendship because, like, they're actually getting along. Annie calls Ivan a pussy. The mom calls Annie a hooker. And, like,
They gotta get separated.
yeah, yeah,
At one point, Annie says to the mom, "It's like, well, I'm gonna get an attorney and I'm gonna
yeah,
sue your asses." And the mom's like, "We have more money than God. We can ruin your life if you try that." And Annie
right.
just kind of realizes she has no dog in the fight.
Yeah, like, she didn't
She
realize
doesn't
the
have it.
severity of the situation.
She doesn't have the means to fight this.
Yeah, and, like, that's why I started feeling bad for Annie. Realistically, like, she really did think Ivan loved her, and we can watch this as the audience and be like, "No, you fucking dumbass. This is a rich, spoiled kid. He does not care about you."
Yeah,
But her character is living this. So, like, I felt bad.
sure.
Yeah.
You know, I felt bad for his Toros because he's getting his ass chewed out.
Yeah.
And you get the impression like this has been his life is just he's Ivan's babysitter.
Yeah.
And for the last 15 years, he just gets yelled at as he tries to clean up Ivan's mess. Toros and Igor are the heroes of the story. I maintain that because they're the only sympathetic characters.
Right.
Well, Annie is sympathetic at some.
So they land, they're off to get the marriage annulled. There's some more back and forth between mom and Annie.
Mhm.
And I loved her clap back to the mom when the mom is just like, you're like, I don't remember what the mom says exactly. You're nothing but a hooker or something like that. I don't know. And Annie is like, your son hates you so much. He married one to piss you off. And the dad
Dad laughs.
dad starts laughing. And it's just like, I fucking love that line, but I love that the dad starts laughing like shit got her.
It's dad's money. Mom runs the show, but dad doesn't care because he has all these resources. So this happens.
Yeah, we
He thinks
cut
the whole thing's hilarious. This is
yeah,
just another like this is a funny story he's gonna tell his friends.
absolutely, absolutely. And they, like, cut to Garnick, and he's in the chair, and I'm like, is he in a coma?" Like, I
He
feel
well, he
like,
got
is he
drunk on the
dead?
plane, which you should not do when you have a
No, so
concussion.
that's why, like, he's just sitting there, and I'm like, is he dead?" He gets up, thankfully, but I thought he was dead.
Yeah. They sign the annulment, and Igor is given instructions to take Annie home, give her her money, and that he's done his Craigslist job, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're on a plane. They're now in like economy shit class. There's a crying baby in front of them. Annie falls asleep, and Igor takes off his hoodie to cover.
Yeah.
cover her because again, Igor's about the only like nice character in the movie, despite his first scene being like tying her up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely gotten a lot, like, sweeter. They're no longer trying to kill each other.
Sure. They're back at Evan's dad's house. They were told they could stay.
Even
Ivan
I don't know, even just sounds like e
is even because now everyone's even Stevens. The deal's done. Anyway, they're back at Ivan's dad's house. They were told they could stay there tonight, and then Annie needs to get out with all of her stuff. Igor reveals that this was his 30th birthday.
Yeah, like,
This
this is
is how
how
he
he
spent.
spent his
This is how he spent his birthday. Getting bit,
Yeah.
tying this bitch up, flying to Vegas, not to do anything fun,
Yeah.
to get a marriage annulled.
Right.
And then he drives her back.
Yeah. Yeah, they, start talking about the meaning of her name, and she's just like, "Americans don't care about name meanings," and it's like, "We don't?" Because I put meaning into all of my kids' names. I didn't That's a whole other rant for a whole other episode. I didn't necessarily get to pick their fucking names, but out of the choices I was given, I made sure to agree to the ones that had significant meaning. I care so much about names. Yeah. So that's a weird thing to say. I don't know, maybe it's just a generational thing. They don't think people care, but I'm like, I feel like people care.
Maybe she just never had that conversation with her mom
Maybe.
about it. I don't know. She makes fun of his name, and he's like, Igor means warrior, which is
Yeah.
funny because Igor, you think of like this hunchbacked Frankenstein
Yeah.
assistant. So she, of course, after she's like, oh, no one cares. That's stupid. He
Yeah.
Googles what Anora means.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it means pomegranate, light and bright. And she's like, I don't fucking care. And Igor's trying to be, like, sympathetic. He's like, "It's good that you got out of this family. They're a disaster."
Yeah.
He's like, "Did I ask for your fucking
Yep. She tells him he has rape eye.
Yeah."
It's like, man, kick him while he's down. It's like, you have a rape.
She's like, "If your friend wasn't here, you were gonna rape me." And he's like, "No, I wasn't." She's like, "How why?" He's like, "I'm not a rapist."
Yeah, she's like, why weren't you gonna rape me?
Right. And then he's like, "Well, I'm not a rapist." And she's like and she uses the F word on him again. She
Yeah,
calls him the
again.
slur.
Again.
Again.
I hate it so much. I
Awful.
don't if we are doing a timepiece and we are going back in time, I will not like it, but I will at least understand it.
This is present
This is
day.
present day, and I have gotten no indication at all that these are like well, I say no indication at all. They got married in their fucking early 20s. You have to be a dumbass to do that, speaking from experience. But it's like, why are we using this slur? Find a
Gross.
different fucking word.
Right? Well, it's the next day. Igor drives Anora to get her money, takes her home, brings her bag up to the door, and reveals that he, in all the chaos of the annulment, he stole her wedding ring.
Yeah, she's gonna get a pretty fucking penny for that.
Yeah, she can pawn that off because she had demanded, like when they got married, at least 3 carats.
Yeah.
And even even whatever the fuck his name is, was like, why not 4? Why
Yeah.
not 5?
Yeah.
I'm spending daddy's money. Anyway,
Yeah,
so she'll
like,
probably pawn it off
she's
for
gonna
a
get a pretty
decent amount.
fucking penny.
So she got 10,000 for,
Yeah.
basically an inconvenience.
Yeah, she got 10,000 for the annulment. She got 15,000 for pretending to be his girlfriend, which she ended up falling in love with him. So for like at least 30-40% of that, she wasn't pretending. And now she's got a ring that she can pawn. Like, this was fucking chaos, and I'm sure she's gonna need years of therapy, but at least she has monetary compensation.
Right. She came out better than when she came in.
Yes.
But she's also unemployed now. She has
She
like
probably
a
can get her job
cushion.
back. She could go there tomorrow and he'd be like, "Hey, welcome back."
I don't know.
Maybe
She
not after
came
the
in and
fight.
the fight. I'm sure
You're
she
right.
could probably get a job at a different strip club
Yeah, there's usually not only one. Like
in New York.
one every 5 miles.
I can't imagine New York City's hard up for
No, no, I feel like every city has at least 2 or 3. At
at least,
least.
you know,
I
maybe
don't think
4 if
our
you're
city has
crazy.
any.
I'm not gonna say our city in case at some point we get more than, 2 or 3 listeners.
Yeah, but I don't think they do. Like, I know the cities outside of us have a few.
We can look into it later if you want.
Yeah, no, I'm not asking for, like, fucking date night or some shit. I'm just
Date
I'm just
night at
saying,
the city.
I said I think there's, like, 1 every like, there's every city has 2 or 3. No, I don't think ours has any. These
I think it
fucking
has to be like
rich
a big
assholes are
urban
like
metropolitan city.
they're like, "Not in my city. We don't even have a Hooters." No, I'm just kidding. We don't, but not that we need one. Anyway, moving on. So they're sitting in the car,
Mhm.
and they're talking, and I'm like, "Are they about to fuck?" And they do. And apparently this is like an Inception style ending where it's like left up to the viewer to decide why they think this happened. Like you've seen Inception. So the ending where it's left up to us, is this reality or is this the dream? So this is, did she do this? Like did she have sex with him basically to, because that's what she does, she's a sex worker, or did she do it to take her power back? And she cries after?
Well, he goes to kiss her,
Yeah.
and she slaps him, and then she starts sobbing into his chest.
Right, and so it's like, okay, this is left open-ended, but it's like, what? Like, I guess my if I had to say, I would say it is she's taking back her power, but it's still very fucking weird. You know what I mean?
It is very weird because all of this has happened in a span of they've only known each other for what, 36 to 48 hours?
No. Wait, her
Her
and
and Igor.
yes, yes. Okay, now I would say I even they knew longer, but yeah.
No, they've known each other for 2 days tops.
Yeah.
Um, it might just be that she does not know how else to express affection,
Right.
and maybe she feels, like, obligated to do that,
Right.
or maybe she did feel like maybe this was a way to get back at, like, "This guy stole the ring. If I
Right.
fuck his goon,
Right.
maybe this is one last fuck you at you guys," but then the trauma just adds up,
Yeah, I just
and she hits a breaking point because
I
she had
thought
to be
it
tough for hours.
yeah. I thought it was supposed to be thought provoking and it didn't really like it didn't really resonate with me.
She sobs and dies.
Yeah, I was just like, "Did we watch it?" It felt like a very intimate moment that we shouldn't be. I don't know. And I don't know. I have a problem with movies who are this is going to be so thought provoking and it's going to leave our viewers with this life question of what does it mean? Turned off the TV and was like, "All right, what'd you think?"
So you comparing this to Inception's like an insult to Inception.
I know, but I couldn't think of any like other movies that really did that. When I watched Inception, it had already been out for a really long time,
Sure.
and I was googling, "What the fuck does this meaning? Like, what does this mean?" Did people do that for Anora? I don't think so.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Well, that's the movie. We roll credits on Annie crying into this goon's chest.
Yes.
Are they in love? Are they gonna start dating? Are they never gonna talk again? Who
Yeah.
cares? What's your final rating and review?
So, okay, I am giving this a 3 out of 5. I wanna say, like, maybe, like, a 3.5 out of 5.
Mm,
There were a lot of enjoyable moments about this movie. A lot of the reasons I didn't like it was because I was looking at this as, like, this won how many Oscars? This won how many Oscars?
right.
It did not feel like a Oscar-winning performance. And I'm not saying that against Mikey Madison per se, but it just way too many Oscars were won when this was literally going up against a movie like Wicked. I'm sorry. I really thought that Wicked was going to be a clear winner this year, and I'm just like, "Wait, this is the movie that won?" And again, no hate for Mikey Madison. I fucking love her. She was so unhinged in Scream. It was so good. I would love to see her in more movies. She did the SNL skit with Squidward. I feel like she's a very enjoyable person. I want to see her in more things. I just don't necessarily think that this was an Oscar-winning performance for Best Actress in like, just that didn't read for me. So, I don't know. I didn't hate it. There were a lot of really great moments, but I just I don't get the hype.
Well, that's fair. I'm gonna give it 2 stars.
Wow.
1 star for Toros and 1 star for Igor, the only sympathetic characters in the movie.
Yeah.
Uh, they each get a star,
You
and
get a
that's
star and you get a star.
that's it. That's it. It's the main characters, Ivan and Anora, are just really bad Gen Z stereotypes who use
Are they Gen Z?
yes, who use terrible slurs and are just unlikable spoiled brats.
Okay, you can't say that about Annie. She's literally working.
She
She is not a spoiled brat. She's
she's a
dumb.
brat.
She's dumb.
No, okay, she's not a
She's
spoiled
she's
brat.
naive.
She's a brat.
She's naive. I would not say she's spoiled by any means.
No, she's not spoiled. You're right. But she, I don't know. I kind of feel like she was a little bit of a gold digger. She might have developed feelings along the way, but those intentions were very clear, at least.
Yeah, the plot synopsis said that it was like a Cinderella story for her, and I'm like, at no point did I watch this and ever correlate
Loose
Cinderella.
adaptation. But yeah, no,
No, I don't
just
think it was supposed to be an adaptation. They were just
just
saying it was like her
yeah, okay, yeah.
Cinderella fairy tale, and it's like, yep, complete with ketamine and vaping. And
All the drugs.
yeah, just like okie dokes.
Okay, adaptation was the wrong word. I don't know, just unenjoyable, unlikable until Igor and Toros come in, and even they're not completely likable because they do some shitty things. Granted, everyone in this movie is a varying shade of gray,
Yeah,
and
I
that's the
don't.
type of movie it is. There's no clear cut hero. Not
Yeah,
everything's black
no.
and white, and that's true to real life, which is fine. Lots of movies can have you know no one's a clear cut good guy. Everyone's morally gray. Everyone can be on that sliding scale, and that's fine. But a lot of movies can do that and actually be enjoyable.
Okay, I was
This
gonna
this
say, am
also.
I like watching the revelation of you realizing you liked this movie?
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay,
This had slightly less plot lines than Amelia Perez.
do not.
I will.
Okay, listen, this movie, not great. Not great. This movie could look like an Oscar winner next to that movie, but you're not comparing it to that movie alone. You're comparing it to 5 other movies. So in that sense, it is not great, but it is nowhere near as awful as
2 stars. Anyway, join us next week. We will be reviewing the cult classic and my favorite movie, Pootie Tang. We'll have a special guest that week. My friend Jake will be joining us. But until next time, have a good one, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.